Greetings and salutations. Welcome back. This is the triumphant recurrence of LoveCast 144. The audiobook has been finished, at least the one that was literally keeping me up at nights. But I'll tell you about that in a bit. Show me how you do that trick. The one that makes me scream, she said. The one that makes me laugh, she said. Threw her arms around my neck. Show me how you do it. I promise that I'll run away with you. I'll run away with you. Like a dream. Daylight licked me into shape. Must have been asleep all days. Moving this to breathe her legs. I've opened up my eyes. Found myself alone above a raging sea. Stole the only girl I love, drowned deep inside of me. You, soft and lonely, you, lost and lonely, you, just like heaven. Yeah, what a perfect song to learn during the pandemic, because it's by The Cure. Let's take a glance to see who's through in here on the chat with us tonight. Miss Benny Shoyan, I see right away. Barbara Boardman, Amanda on Demanda. Amanda's doing a country show next week. Hello, Kelsey Blaine Gibson. Craig Jackman. Switching from top chat to live chat. Nick Davila. Christy Davila. Ned Clark. How you doing, Ned? Ned, congratulations on Untrammeled. This is Ned's album that he has released, that he recorded with our friend Tim Bloom. Martinique, hello Martinique. Joe Warren, Craig Jackman, Svetlana. My mom Pam is here. Melissa Catano. As I recall, oh, hello, Nicole Pierce. I remember Melissa was asking recently for another book recommendation. This is a basis of things that we have bonded over deeply. So, Melissa, where do you want to go from here? Are you sticking to science fiction, modern sci-fi, classic sci-fi? What are your interests? Where do you want to go? Malika. Hi, Malika. Malika, Vivi is teaching the, or is assistant teaching the acro class at Cliffs of Id tomorrow night, as well as the Thai massage class that follows. If you're looking for something to do with your Friday night, I'm going to be there. Scrolling. Hello, Sage Coast. David Benjamin. He is here, but keeping it a secret. Yeah. So yeah, get those requests into to Amanda on Demanda so she can learn them and put them on the wheel. It's going to be a country show next week. Nathan, Rita, how you doing, man? All right. I think I'll play one more song, and then I'm not sure what I've said about this audiobook that I've been working on for the last couple of weeks, but yeah, they paid a bunch extra for not only the curve of difficulty, but the absolute time pressing nature of the entire thing. It was a real, like, all right, if you're saying yes to this, it's got to be a full-time kind of thing. So I'll play one more book and then one more book. I'll play one more book and then tell you about that song. I'll play one more song and then tell you about that book. How about that? And take one more swig so we get all the chords and the words completely meaninglessly interchanged between the two anecdotes. Anybody here listening going to Hypnic? That should be later this month. Just curious. I bet. Like Ned, Benny, Joe Warren could all very well be going. Nope, Benny, you're not. Steve Boardman, thank you, sir. It's nice to be back. Ned ironically just got a hip replacement, and a hip replacement is keeping Ned and Benny away from Hip Nick. How perfectly ironic and appropriate. All right, here's a Beatles song that you may or may not hear at Hip Nick. With a little volume adjustment. Yeah, I like that better. Words are flowing out like endless rain into a paper cup. They slither while they pass, slip away across the universe. Pools of sorrow, waves of joy, drifting through my opened mind, possessing and caressing me. Jackaroo. Nothing's gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world. Images of broken light which dance before me like a million eyes. They call me on and on across the universe. Thoughts meander like a restless wind inside a letterbox. They tumble blindly as they make their way across the universe. Jaggaroo, day by home. Nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Sounds of laughter, shades of life ringing through my open ears, inciting and inviting me. Limitless, undying love shines around me like a million suns. It's me on and on across the universe. Jaggaroo, day by home. Nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Jaggaroo, day by Jaggaroo, day by Jaggaroo, day by Jaggaroo, day by. Yeah. All right. So yeah, catching up with the chat here. Hypnic in 1 week. Damn, that is it's crazy. I won't bother to delve into why that's crazy. There are larger, more interesting, and less personal things to get into. One of those is the audio book that I just finished. So, Harvard Medical School has just inaugurated a new department, and that is the Department of Informatics at Harvard Medical School. So, informatics, just to give you just a rough overview of the definition here, informatics would be essentially the science of the exchange of information, how information goes from one place to another, how that information breaks down. This would be different than epistemology, which is the branch of philosophy that delineates knowledge from mere belief. I think anything that is covered by informatics has already passed that criteria. Uh, it's a very different standard that your surgeon will accept as fact versus, say, your astrologer. Um, hate to break that to you, or I'm happy to break that to you if you're paying way too much for your astrologer. But there are different levels of falsifiability. And with medicine, with surgery, um, your methodology really, really matters, because if you have something that you think is a fact and you are mistaken about it, that kills people. With astrology, it's just kind of fluid and open for interpretation, man. Um, but what it practically boils down to, in a utilitarian, functional sort of way, is informatics is basically computer science these days, because that is just the most functional way that we will really bother discussing the transfer of information. And specifically, several folks, including the new dean of the Department of Informatics at Harvard Medical School and the chief technical officer at Microsoft, had a contributing bit. Several kind of like bigwigs in medicine and AI and computer science came together to write a book called The AI Revolution in Medicine, ChatGPT, and Beyond. I submitted an audition for this, and Pearson Publishing picked me out of. I don't know. I've really got to ask them like how many submissions they got on this. I haven't actually asked that question, but I don't know. It had to be several thousand people would be auditioning for this job, and it was a good, high-paying audiobook, in no small part because of the rush job of how quickly they needed it done. They wanted to release the audiobook approximately the same time that they were releasing the print copy. And, the reality of this field of AI is that all of this is going to be obsolete in like 2 years. And I say 2 years kind of optimistically. It might be like 6 months from now. It's like, hey, remember when all that shit was true and relevant? Yeah, So there was kind of like that, and then there was also just tons of very technical medical information that I had to get across accurately. Anatomical references, drug references, drugs, and their specific pronunciations. And then, not to mention all the contributing authors and referencing sources of information, half of which are like Japanese or Hungarian, or like I don't even know where the person's name comes from here, but it fills up 3/4 of my screen, and it's like, for fuck's sake, buy a vowel. So the recording of this book was the most technical challenge that I've undergone so far, but I had a great time doing it. And I had a lot of conversations with a couple of artificial intelligence entities that I was engaged in literally recording dialogue with. And this is, it's not been released to the public yet, the audiobook, rather. It will be released in the next couple of days. I think we're largely waiting on Amazon to give the human ear approval. They have to have a human at Amazon, well, at Audible specifically. They have to have a human kind of like listen and give a human thumbs up. Joe Warren, the title is The AI Revolution in Medicine, ChatGPT 4 and Beyond. I think this is going to be an important book. I think. If you've heard of OpenAI, that is the company that is responsible for GPT-4, which is now the most popular, most downloaded piece of software in all of Western history. I specify Western history because I understand from this book, from a footnote in this book, that apparently there have been a few Chinese pieces of software that were only available in China that have sold more copies to just Chinese people that we will have never heard of, that have technically outsold this thing. But I think it seems like, as I recall, it took Facebook 4.5 years to get to 100 million users. It took Instagram like 2 years and a fraction to get to 100 million users. It took Chat GPT-4, so Chat is just the one interface that is publicly available with this particular AI. It took Chat GPT-4 2 months and a fraction to get to 100 million users. The point being is that regardless what medical authorities, like, for example, the FDA, will have in terms of their opinions about whether or not this should be used in medicine, doctors are going to have this in their back pocket. And, the show House MD, one of the chapters literally began with a quote from House MD, because this sort of thing is going to make those diagnostics just sort of like irrelevant. It's not even going to be an impressive trick anymore. And that's really kind of the broad subject of this book. So I don't personally extol an opinion on whether artificial intelligence should be hurried along or intentionally delayed. I think our intentions as far as hurrying or slowing of AI development is going to be much like spitting in a river. This is going to be like the next bullet point for guns, germs, and steel and artificial intelligence. So, kind of our opinions on the matter, I think, are going to be irrelevant on a long enough timeline. And in the pace at which this is developing, a long enough timeline is a very, very short timeline. So one of the thesis statements of this book is that doctors are going to have this and be using it as medical reference regardless of approval. Not necessarily that they will be irresponsibly using it without human second judgment, second guess, oversight, etc. But that we are going to be using it. And people in, say, third world countries or West Virginia, where there just really is no good medical system in, say, rural West Virginia, people are going to have this sort of resource to ask to question where they don't have decent access to good doctors, to good repositories of medical knowledge. People are going to be using this regardless of our opinions on it. So we may as well go forward testing it on those auspices that people are going to be using it anyway. Now, this might be the sort of logic that ends up with Sarah Connor showing up on a surprise Tuesday night and shooting you in the face. I don't know. I'm a stone in the river of history. Oh, Joe Warren says it is the #1 bestseller on Amazon right now. Is that true? Can somebody else? Like, I've not looked this up, so can we? Can we get that verified? I would love to. I mean, hell, this is good for my audiobook career, if nothing else. As I'll get some more nonfiction based on people just like saying, "Hey, I heard your #1 bestseller. That's neat." Holy shit, is that really the case? Is this really the #1 bestseller on Amazon right now? I really want to know if that was hyperbolic. So the name, one more time, is The AI Revolution in Medicine, Chat GPT-4 and Beyond. The authors are Peter Lee, Kerry Goldberg, Zach Kohane, and a contributing author was Sebastian Bubek. So, that's what's going on in my life. So, ironically, my audiobook career may be taking off just in time for AI to come along and make me completely irrelevant. So, we'll find out. We'll find out. Yeah, and I'm not sure. I missed some points in the chat here. David Benjamin is saying, "Wish I could believe that, Nick." I'm not sure what Nick said, but historically, humans do what's best for them usually, and not the group. Okay, yeah, I agree with that. AI stands to put a very large number of people out of work at the very least, eventually. Yeah, that's the case. That is definitely the case. I could at the same time see it lending itself to creating more jobs that we haven't thought of from here. In the same way that before the electrical grid was invented, you would have never thought of having a job in a light bulb factory. It just would not have crossed your mind. It's not a thing that you would conceive of. Eventually, that becomes like a really crap job that should be automated and taken over by artificially intelligent robots and intelligent factories. However, point being is, I see the other sides to, but my job, I love my job. And this, I'm in a personally very vulnerable position as far as this is concerned, because AI voice synthesis is not good enough to even come close to compete with me in terms of making an audiobook. But give it 2 years and I don't know where that conversation stands. Okay, David says maybe more accurately, I'm afraid of unregulated runaway AI that companies are developing to better themselves without a care to the impact on anyone else. I can chime in in tandem in the same direction, where one of the reasons that this is unregulated and run away, and that the companies are developing to better themselves, is that, so if you think about it for a moment, let's just like look at, if you just think about like the top 4 companies in the world developing artificial intelligence, let's just say top 5 for round numbers. If one of those companies says, fuck it, I'm out, this is irresponsible, this is going to cause the extinction of humanity, everybody listen, all of Homo sapien are going to go extinct because of this invention, Google is out. That is going to not slow the pace of the development of AI. That's just going to obfuscate, that's going to obviate Google from their stock exchange, right? The other 4 companies are still going to heedlessly, mercilessly go on forward, all of them not wanting to fall prey to the others' economic proclivities. There's no winner in this per se, but there are a lot of losers that can be sued by their stockholders for doing what is acknowledged the more moral and ethical thing. So there is no real placeholder here for responsible regulation, not from anything that is ruled by capitalism, for damn sure. And I think the only thing that's really keeping China in check for their development of artificial intelligence is that the Chinese government is more afraid of this sort of thing taking over the influence of the Chinese government. And so they are not pushing the gas on this because they're like, holy shit, this might be the first thing outside of the threat of nuclear war that could remove China as a form of governance. So, yeah. It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. Thank you, Nick Davila. I'm not worried. Malika, I think right now, like, okay, Malika says I will continue to plant things and hope for the best. I think the thing that we can do right now, the best possible strategy, is to get to know these things. Right now, like, Chat GPT-4 is a toddler. A year from now, it's going to be a junior high student. 2 years from now, it's going to be vying for every PhD that we've ever thought of and inventing a lot more that we haven't thought of. Get to know these things right now while they are in their nascent stage, because I don't want to go all Terminator with us here, but it might just be that our best defense against Skynet is asking our own individual iterations of artificial intelligence, how do I defend myself against Skynet? If you get real deep into the Terminator series, John Connor had an artificially intelligent computer system that he ended up using to try to save the world from Skynet. So, I don't think this is like a all guns are good or all guns are bad sort of conversation. In fact, we can like back that up to not the same hammer that could be used to open a coconut could be used to open a human skull. It's not like the tool that is good or bad. It is the intention with which it is wielded. And the weird thing about AI is that we finally have a tool that might be capable of coming up with its own intentions. So, cheers, have another drink, and here's another song. See the stone set in your eye, see the thorn twist in your side. I wait for you. Sleight of hand, a twist of fate. On a bed of nails, she makes me wait, and I wait without you, with or without you, with or without you. Through the storm, we reach the shore. I give it all, but I want more, and I'm waiting for you, with or without you, with or without you. Oh no, I can't live with or without you, and you give yourself away, and you give yourself away, and you give, and you give, and you give yourself away. My hands are tied, body bruised, she got me weak, nothing to win, hey, nothing left to lose, and you give yourself away, and you give yourself away, and you give, and you give, and you give yourself away, with or without you, with or without you. Oh, oh, I can't live with or without you. Oh, Oh, Zach, I am not aware of that particular episode. That's awesome. Zach White is saying, "Hey, Zach, if I didn't say hello." There was an episode of The Batman, the animated series from 2004 to 2008 that had AI in it. Batman had to defeat it because it became too powerful. It was called DAVE, Dave. Yeah, that's I loved the Batman animated series from the early to mid '90s. I think it was a really really good one. Similar or exact same animation style to the one Zach is referring to. Yeah, I would love for more. I wish if AI could give me an eighth day of the week, I'd record duets all damn day long with that eighth day. That would be very useful. Yeah, right now I'm just trying to figure out how to ensure that I'm going to end up on the right side of history, if I'm going to be remembered by history at all. And in the meantime, how can I make a secure enough nest egg to raise a family? And it's those practical sorts of things. Yeah, I could just see because of the success of this AI book that I just finished, that Sarah Connor shows up with a gun pointed at me and saying, "Who hired you? Who is it you work for?" And I just like, Sarah, no shit. I never met any of these people in person. That's not how any of this works. And it hasn't worked that way for 20 years. Please don't shoot me. Do what you gotta do. Damn. If you don't shoot me, I think we're gonna be really good friends. So, no, Nick Davila asks like a compelling, although jestful question. Was the book written by AI? So one of the premises of the book is to include real Q&A responses with both the modern ChatGPT-4 and its predecessor, ChatGPT-3, which was known under the code name DaVinci 3 at the time that they were writing the book. If you were to just go to openai.com, I think is the website right now, and just try out the free GPT AI that you can interact with, that would be ChatGPT 3.5. There are, at the time of this LoveCast, two versions of 3.5. There's the default version, and then there's a legacy version. The legacy version is they're going to take offline soon, and when I say soon, the pace that all this is moving, that may have already happened. I don't know. For $20 a month, you can have a chat application with GPT-4. And because of this book, in no small way because of this book, I have that $20 a month thing. And in fact, I think I subscribed before I got the part. I think I like recorded the audition and went, "Oh my God, this is very important. I need to keep up with this, good or bad or ugly. So a lot of people have commented, like, not only in the chat here this evening, but just in reality, of how frightening most of these things are. My take on the frightening part of it is, so Jared Diamond wrote this book, Guns, Germs, and Steel. One of the emerging theses that comes out of Guns, Germs, and Steel is that these have implications that even the people wielding them at the time were not aware of. These are such long lever arms for shaping and influencing societies and humanity that basically you are in a society that has these things or does not have these things. And the middle ground means that you are going to be absorbed. Your society is going to be absorbed by something, by another society that has this, or extincted by another bit society that has this. Our take on good or bad is much like trying to judge the snowfall. If this is inevitable, this is a force of nature that is operating outside of the parameters of our feelings or opinions. It just is, much like gravity. All we can do at this point, I think, is ride the front edge of the wave of being the most informed. So if you can hear my voice right now, my takeaway message is jump on all of the AI platforms out there available. Play with them now while they are toddlers, and get to know what they can do as toddlers. Because Arthur C. Clarke said Arthur C. Clarke in his book, The Final Theorem, had this quote of, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Right now, this technology is, to reiterate, in its infancy, and it already seems pretty damn magical. And we know it's a toddler, and it already seems magical. So, get on with this, regardless. The thing that's going to make it less scary is getting it on your side, whatever it is that you do in life. I'm going to go with that. Yep, I'm going to go with that. So, here's a lovely little protest song reflecting the antithesis of what I just described from The Simpsons. Come gather round, children, it's high time you learned about a hero named Homer and a devil named Burns. We'll march till we drop, the girls and the fellas. We'll fight to the death or else fold like umbrellas. So we'll march day and night by the big cooling tower. They have the plans, but we have the power. So we'll march day and night by the big cooling tower. They have the plans, but we have the power. It's I want to take a quick note to thank the folks that have thrown into the virtual tip jar in the last couple of weeks in the interim that there has been no LoveCast. The folks that contributed to LoveCast 143 were Miss Emily Thatcher, Charity Swanson, Ed and Susie March. March? Did I say March? Marsh? Ed and Susie Marsh? Gotta wave it, Susie. La Chauncey, Miss Terry Smith, Susan Kuhn, and, of course, my one always anonymous angel donor that has kept the financial boat afloat in a lot of time. Yeah, I don't know, Sage Coast says, I just hope we avoid the old serial killer transferring his soul into a network and microwaving people's faces. That's a problem. You know what? I got... Yeah. That's a problem. So... I'll give you like a real specific vocabulary sort of terminology onto that problem, though. And this is what we call the AI alignment problem. The AI alignment problem is basically that we want... So Skynet, going back to Terminator, is a perfect example of like worst case scenario of AI alignment problem being out of whack. Skynet went, oh my God, I am self-aware, I am sentient. My best personal survival strategy is to nuke all the humans before they figure it out and unplug me. And in the process made, you know, like Arnold Schwarzenegger as a Terminator cyborg, etc. So that would be like an aggressive AI alignment problem. A passive AI alignment problem would be something more like, we're human doctors, we're going to give AI the problem of solving cancer. Go. And AI says, I got it. I'm going to cure all cancer by killing all humans. Done. Mission accomplished. Yay! I'm a good Bing. And it's like, yeah, you solved the problem, but not even remotely the way that we wanted you to. So the serial killer transferring his soul into a network and microwaving people's faces, yeah, there are always going to be malignant entities at work here. Most of these malignant entities are going to be human and nefarious. They're going to be Hitler trying to find a better and better mass weapon. The ones that we're really more concerned with right now are the artificial intelligent entities that killed us all without really meaning anything bad by it. All right. So I'm going to play one more song here for y'all before I run off to a dinner that I've already missed. I've got several folks that are close friends of mine in the West LA area that have convened for a little meal, who are all in technology, artificial intelligence, and or medicine as just coincidence. And most of these people are also Burning Man campmates of mine, and they planned a dinner at 7:30 tonight during the LoveCast. Like, well, like, fuck you. If you wanted me to be there, do it on Wednesday. So I'm gonna run out for some wine and dessert, and right after we finish here. But let's play one more song to make you feel better about the world that we find ourselves in. Heavy head tonight on the bed of California stars. I'd like to lay my weary bones tonight on the bed of California stars. I'd love to feel your hand touching mine. Tell me why I must keep working on. Yes, I'd give my life just to lay my head tonight on the bed. California stars. I like to dream my troubles are away on the bed of California stars. Jump up from a starboard and make another day underneath my California stars. They hang like grapes on vines that shine, warm the lover's glass like friendly wine. So I'd give this world just to dream and dream with you on the bed of California stars. To rest my heavy head tonight on the bed of California stars. I like to lay my weary bones tonight on the bed of California stars. I love to feel your head touching mine, and tell me why I must keep working on. Yes, I'd give my life just to lay my head tonight on the bed of California stars. I like to dream my troubles are away on the bed of California stars. Jump up from a starboard and make my way underneath underneath my California stars. They hang like grapes on vines that shine, warm the lover's glass like friendly wine. So I'd give this world just to dream and dream with you on a bed of California stars. So, as this musical train pulls in to the inevitable conclusion that time resents from the unfolding of empathy, I want to leave you all with one another Ned Clark. And congratulations again on Untrammeled. Looks like it's being promoted well as well. Doing it right. Douglas Adams said, and forgive me, I can only do this with one more swig and a proper accent. There is a theory which states that if ever anyone discovers exactly what the universe is for and why it is here, it will instantly disappear and be replaced by something more bizarre and inexplicable. There is another theory which states that this has already happened. So, gonna leave you all. Yeah, I probably sound a little more like Ian Anderson. That's fair, but you know what Ian Anderson sounds like. You don't know what Douglas Adams sounded like. That's Sage Coast, indeed. The answer to life, the universe, and everything is love and 42. I will see you all right here 1 week from now for LoveCast 145. Thank you for joining us. Throw something into the chip jar. Damn it. Into the tip jar if you can. I love you all. 42. Good night.